So what do you do when you're stuck in the house with quarantine and your daughter brings you some internet plans she found to build a table? Well, being the loving father that I am, I said, sure, baby girl, we can build that table. And then I set about teaching them how to use power tools and why nobody likes sanding. But I gotta say, Reed and Mason were really good sports. They sanded in the backyard in the sunshine. They sanded under the carport in the rain. When you're doing a project like this, there's a lot of rough boards that need to be smoothed out and cleaned up. Of course, Mason wanted a rustic farm table, but we turned it into a smooth, nice, billy-fied table. Once we had all the pieces sanded and cut to fit, it was Mason's turn to learn how to use a cordless drill. We got to that without any bloodshed, and then it was time to glue them and bolt them all together. And I don't know where Mason came up with the ideas, but they actually worked out a lot better than I thought they would. So the legs are made up out of 2x6s, 4x4s, and 4 and 5 inch lag bolts. And the top is made out of 3 1x12 popular boards that Mason picked because she kind of liked the green color. She thought that would look really nice compared to what she expected for the rest of the table to come out looking like. So here they turned into a pretty good pocket hole team, and they used a Craig tool to drill the pocket holes to hold the top all together. We're going to glue the whole thing together, but the hidden screws will help bind it together until the glue dries. After that, it's going to be a pretty solid table. I have to say it was a lot of fun teaching them how to use the tools, and I think they got a big kick out of it as well. I am by no means a professional furniture builder, but this was just a labor of love to get in here and put this table together and build it with these two. It was a lot of fun. And one of the things that Mason decided really early on was she did not want voids on their tabletop. So this allowed me to use one of my favorite tools, a router. Man, you want to talk about making some wood chips, the router's a tool to use. What I told Mason early on was, I'm not painting anything. So she was the one that picked up the paintbrush and went to painting the bottom of this table white, which I have to say I was a little bit skeptical of at first. But after all the hardware was in place and the table was finished, it actually came out looking really good. But it sure was tough putting all those long bolts in. And during the fitting phase, we had to put those bolts in and take them out 3 or 4 times just to make sure everything worked like we expected it to. This whole process took us a couple of weeks, working on weekends and in the evening, and you can see we got rained out a lot. And I think the hardest part we had was gluing this big 4x4 edge on this tabletop. This is when I was really missing the wood shop from high school and all those really long clamps. But we finally came up with a way to do that using motorcycle tie-down straps and some blocks of wood so we could get a good clamp to the wood joints. And then right in the middle of all this, Reed decided he had to have a haircut because his hair was getting a little shaggy. It's a good thing Mason learned how to use power tools. Once we had the table all bolted together, there was a lot more sanding had to happen on the top and the sides there before we could start getting the stain and the clear coat that she wanted on there so it was durable. And I would have kept sanding on it until it was super smooth, but she wanted it to still be a little bit rough. So we went to staining and putting on the clear coat, getting it to where it had a real nice sheen to it. And we didn't make hardly a mess at all. And I was really thrilled with that because we don't call her Messy Mason for nothing. And after getting it carried up 3 flights of stairs, thanks to Jason and Reed, the table looks amazing in their new home. Now all we have to do is build the bench to match. And I'm just praying for lots of love and laughter and great meals and fun games all around this table for years to come. Thanks for making quarantine fun, Mason.